World War II raged for 6 agonizing years. It was a conflict that spanned continents, involving nations from every corner of the globe. The sheer scale of the war was unprecedented, with battles fought on land, sea, and air. The human cost was staggering. Millions perished in the blink of an eye, entire cities were reduced to rubble, and countless lives were shattered. The devastation was beyond comprehension, leaving scars that would last for generations. But those blinks added up. Each moment of violence, each act of destruction contributed to a cumulative horror that the world had never seen before. The passage of time only deepened the wounds. Today, such a war wouldn't last years. With the advancements in technology and the development of modern military machinery, the nature of warfare has changed dramatically. It wouldn't even last days. The speed and efficiency of contemporary military operations mean that conflicts can be resolved or escalated at an alarming rate. With the terrifying speed of modern weaponry, the potential for rapid and widespread destruction is greater than ever before. Missiles can be launched with precision, and advanced weaponry can be deployed in an instant. A global conflict could be over in minutes. A few misguided missiles, a cascade of cyber attacks, and the world as we know it could be plunged into chaos. The interconnected nature of our world means that the impact would be felt everywhere. And the world as we know it would vanish in a mushroom cloud. 7 minutes. That's all it might take to bring about unprecedented devastation. The thought is chilling, but it's a reality we must confront. This isn't science fiction. This is the grim reality of our hyper-connected, technologically saturated world. The weapons we've built, meant to deter conflict, have ironically made us more vulnerable than ever. The stakes have never been higher. The clock is ticking. In this age of instant communication and rapid technological advancement, the potential for catastrophic events has increased exponentially. The weapons we've built, meant to deter conflict, have ironically made us more vulnerable than ever. The balance of power is delicate, and a single misstep could lead to disaster. The stakes have never been higher. The clock is ticking. We must recognize the gravity of the situation and work towards a future where such a catastrophe is averted. The time to act is now. The world today is a tinderbox. Nationalistic tensions simmer, economic rivalries deepen, religious extremism festers. Any one of these sparks could ignite a global firestorm. Imagine a territorial dispute in the South China Sea. A cyber attack cripples a nation's infrastructure. Misinformation campaigns spiral out of control. Alliances kick in, drawing major powers into the fray. Escalation becomes almost instantaneous. The world is interconnected. Global trade, instant communication, and intricate alliances tie us together. But these connections cut both ways. A regional conflict could easily spiral into a global conflagration. The domino effect would be swift and merciless. Forget trenches and tanks. The battlefields of tomorrow are digital. Cyber warfare will be the first strike. Viruses will cripple power grids, banks will freeze, communication networks will collapse, chaos will reign, and that's just the beginning. Drones controlled by artificial intelligence will swarm the skies. Autonomous weapon systems will identify and eliminate targets with chilling efficiency. The fog of war will be replaced by the cold precision of algorithms. Humanity will be relegated to the sidelines, watching in horror as machines decide our fate. Section 4. The AI Warfighter. Artificial intelligence is the wild card in this terrifying equation. Imagine AI systems analyzing satellite imagery, intercepting communications, and predicting enemy movements with superhuman accuracy. Imagine these systems controlling entire armies of drones and robots, waging war at a pace no human could comprehend. This isn't some distant dystopia. AI-powered weapons systems are already being developed. The quest for military advantage is driving us toward an automated apocalypse. And once we unleash these AI warfighters, we may not be able to control them. Section 5. The Nuclear Nightmare. Looming over this terrifying scenario is the specter of nuclear war, a threat that has haunted humanity for decades. The mere thought of a nuclear conflict sends chills down the spine, evoking images of unparalleled destruction and suffering. The destructive power of nuclear weapons has only grown since Hiroshima and Nagasaki. What was once a devastating force unleashed on 2 cities has now evolved into an arsenal capable of ending civilization as we know it. The advancements in technology have made these weapons more powerful and more precise, yet the potential for catastrophic error remains ever present. A single detonation could obliterate a city, poisoning the land for generations. The immediate impact would be horrifying, but the long-term consequences would be even more dire. Radiation would seep into the soil, the water and the air, making the area uninhabitable for centuries. The human cost would be incalculable, with countless lives lost and many more suffering from the after-effects. A full-scale nuclear exchange would be an unimaginable catastrophe. The sheer scale of destruction would be beyond anything the world has ever seen. Cities reduced to rubble, entire populations wiped out, and the environment irreparably damaged. The global fallout would affect every corner of the planet, plunging humanity into a new dark age. The threat of nuclear annihilation has been a dark cloud over humanity for decades. During the Cold War, the world lived in constant fear of a nuclear showdown between superpowers. Even today, the shadow of that era lingers, reminding us of the fragile nature of peace and the ever-present danger of conflict. But in our interconnected world, the risk of miscalculation, accident, or escalation is higher than ever. With so many nations possessing nuclear capabilities, the chances of a misunderstanding or a technical glitch leading to disaster have increased. The complexity of modern geopolitics adds another layer of risk, making the situation even more precarious. The taboo against using nuclear weapons has held for over 70 years. This unspoken agreement has been a cornerstone of global security, preventing the use of these devastating weapons in conflicts. However, the world is changing, and the pressures on this taboo are growing. The rise of new powers and the resurgence of old rivalries are testing the limits of this fragile peace. But how long can it last in a world on the brink? As tensions rise and the international order becomes more unstable, the risk of a nuclear conflict looms larger. The doomsday clock ticks ever closer to midnight, a stark reminder of the peril we face. The future of humanity hangs in the balance, and the choices we make today will determine whether we can avoid the nuclear nightmare. Section 6. The Ashes of Civilization. The aftermath of a global nuclear war is almost impossible to comprehend. Cities would be reduced to radioactive rubble. Millions would perish instantly. The living would envy the dead. Nuclear winter would blanket the planet, blocking out the sun and plunging the Earth into a perpetual twilight. Crops would fail. Ecosystems would collapse. Humanity, if it survived at all, would be thrown back to the Stone Age. The legacy of our civilization would be a poisoned planet, a stark reminder of the folly of our ways. Section 7. Learning from the ghosts. The ghosts of World War II, the millions who perished, the cities reduced to rubble, the lives shattered beyond repair, the scars etched on the soul of humanity, should serve as a stark warning. We've built a world where the destructive power of our technology far outpaces our wisdom. The memories of those who lived through the horrors of war remind us of the fragility of peace. We've created a global civilization capable of extraordinary progress, where technology connects us in ways previously unimaginable, but also of unimaginable self-destruction. The choice is ours. The same tools that can build bridges can also destroy cities. The same innovations that can heal can also harm. We can continue down this path of escalating tensions and technological brinkmanship, where every advancement is met with an equal and opposite threat. Or we can learn from the mistakes of the past. We can remember the lessons taught by the ghosts of history, the lessons written in blood and tears. We can choose diplomacy over conflict. We can choose to sit at the table and talk, rather than stand on the battlefield and fight. We can choose cooperation over competition. We can work together to solve the problems that face us all, rather than compete for dominance. We can choose to build a future where the 7-minute catastrophe remains a chilling hypothetical, a warning of what could be, rather than a prophecy of what will be. Not a horrifying reality. The time to act is now, while we still have the chance to change our course. Before the clock runs out, the ghosts of the past are watching, and the future is in our hands.